I have a moral question for us to chew on here when it comes to plastic surgery. Cassie, get in on this, okay? So I had some random thoughts the other day. You know, we were talking about Kylie Jenner. People are praising her lately.
Yeah, people are really praising Kylie Jenner for kind of being the first Kardashian to be like really, really open about their plastic surgery. Normally, like they'll say things, well, I just got filler or I didn't get any plastic surgery. Whereas recently a TikToker asked Kylie for her exact boob job formula. And she not only responded with the size of her implants, she said where the implants got put in. It's like half under the muscle, whatever that means. And she even told us where she got her plastic surgery done with a guy named Dr. Garth Fisher, who I have heard has received an obscene amount of requests for the Kylie Jenner special.
I can only imagine.
Sure.
Garth was already living a good life if he was doing plastic surgery on a Kardashian. Now he's living an even better life.
I think it was yesterday he came out and he said the same thing. Kristen said, hey, whoa, pump the brakes. I want your money, but all bodies are different. And so what works for Kylie is not going to work for you. Not here nor there. So I sent you guys a link to a People magazine article. Now, Kylie has been very open about her surgery, but take a look at her picture before all of her surgery and what she looks like now.
Yeah, I've seen this a million times. I mean, it's very obvious that something was done.
Right. She's not an unattractive woman, but she doesn't look like the current Kylie Jenner.
Oh, no, she looks like a completely different person.
Very, very different. I mean, it's obvious work was done.
Right. So,
my favorite is when they take the Kardashian photos of what they used to look like and then age them as to what they would look like now if they hadn't got anything done.
Right.
That is fascinating.
All right. So there's no escaping for Kylie, like when she starts dating somebody, what she used to look like and what she looks like now. Here is my question for you guys, right? Let's take Kylie out of it and just say she's, I don't know, Kylie Jones, okay? And she starts dating a guy, and they get very, very serious. They are starting to talk about getting engaged. Then they get married, or they're about to get married. Does she have a moral obligation before she gets married, and they've already talked about having kids, to tell him and show him what she looked like prior to getting all of this plastic surgery done, so he has a better grip on what them kids might look like if they have children?
Please tell me you're joking.
No,
I'm
he's
not joking.
A man sued his wife over this.
That was a hoax.
Kidding.
Was it a hoax?
Yeah, it was on credible news sites, so you're not wrong, but they later went and backtracked. It was a Chinese man, and they said that he won for $120,000 after the birth of his daughter, but it was later confirmed to be a hoax.
Let's play it out, though.
Right.
Do you have a moral obligation? And I thought, look, I was looking yesterday for the male equivalent, and let's just say as sort of an extrapolation, a very extraordinary example. As a guy that's 5'4", myself, that 4 is very important there, and I almost left it off. As a guy that's 5'4", let's say I went for that very exotic leg lengthening surgery, and by the time I got done healing, I was nearly 6 feet tall. Women are all over me, right? So before, and then somebody falls in love with me, and we are talking about having kids, and we are talking about our future together. Do I have a moral obligation to say to her, I just want to let you know my real height is 5'4"?
I guess my thing is, if you were really going to be with someone and get married to them, I would just expect those conversations to have come up. And well, here's the thing, and it's not even the fact that you got that surgery. I would be upset that you didn't trust me enough to really put your full self out there, and I would feel like I didn't know you and wonder what else you were hiding. It's not so much the fact that you don't look the same and that you got the surgery. It's that you lied to me about it for this extent, and I was about to marry someone I didn't know.
It also feels like a breeding question. Like it feels like I'm shopping for a dog and I'm looking for certain traits or qualities in these dogs. If I'm going to have kids with somebody I love, I would hope that the last thing on my mind is how are these kids coming out, unless it has something to do with their health or a genetic predisposition I might need to know about. I would hope as a mom, their height or the way their face looks is the last thing on my mind.
I'm wondering if we're being very PC here, because the heightening question would be really kind of targeted at you. You have said that, you know what, your preference, just not short guys, right? So you fall in love with a guy that's 5'11", 6 foot, 6'2", or whatever, and he tells you, just want to let you know, our kids are going to be teeny, because you're teeny too, and he's 5'4". That doesn't change things for you?
No, because the reason women like tall guys is because it's like a romantic attraction or a romantic connection. I could care less if my kids come out 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", because those are going to be my kids. And I'd like to think I'm not particularly PC about most things. For me, when it comes to having kids, I feel like that needs to be the most selfless thing you ever do. It needs to be an overflow of the love you have for the other person. And if the person I'm getting married to decided to have height lengthening surgery, then that's for them to decide. But I don't think it would implicate how I would feel about our kids together.
No. It wouldn't implicate how you feel about your child. You're going to love your child regardless. It's going to change how you feel about your spouse, because you know the hurdles that short men have in the dating world. So he did this, didn't tell you. And no, you're going to love your child regardless. Absolutely. But now he might have a harder time dating because he's shorter and your husband wasn't honest because he had the leg lengthening surgery. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
I'm not getting at anything. I just wanted to throw it at you guys.
I'm with Cassie. I just think all that stuff, like, you know, it feels like a full disclosure kind of thing. I don't know why you wouldn't have shared that, because you're going to like see it just because I don't think it's weird. I don't think it should be a big deal, but I think it should be shared.
Like, I think as a general rule, dudes are more superficial than women are. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if guys are being honest if they're dating what they consider to be a completely and total hottie, right? That when she shows you what she really looks like, I think that he probably has an obligation to not look like an a-hole and go, oh, it doesn't matter to me, honey. But I wonder if he really judges that.
Of course. I think anyone would. I mean, that's why people get plastic surgery, and everyone has their own biases and what they like and what they don't like. So I think they would. The big thing for me is if you are going to have kids, let's say like you had a defining feature that got you bullied. Like I knew someone who had their ears pinned because they stuck out, and we're going to have kids. I want to know that is something I need to be prepared for with my child. Right. It's not going to change me wanting to have kids and being in love with you, but I'm going to be mad if we have a kid and they've got something they're going to be bullied over, and I wasn't prepared to like deal with that. And I still have a few years before they get into school, but I want to be the best mom possible for my kid, and you've withheld information that could be damaging to my child, and now I'm mad.
Yeah. No, all of that makes total sense.
Yeah, I like that explanation more than, I need to tell my husband that I used to have a busted nose because our daughter might not be hot enough. What an odd thing to consider. That my husband might not be attracted to our daughter. Like, that's so bizarre to think about.
But with your nose job, you generally look like the same person.
I think I look a little different. I look fairly different.
You look more similar to Abby than Kylie Jenner looks to Kylie Jenner.
For sure, for sure.
That's the thing with your nose, like, because I've seen the before and after, and yes, it is different, but not so much. I mean, the dudes in here didn't even notice. Like, that is not something I would feel. I would disclose because they were my partner, but I wouldn't feel like you had to disclose, because I don't know if you ever got bullied for your nose, but to me, your nose looked fine.
No, I mean, I never got bullied for it, but the whole ear thing makes sense to me. Like, our kid might be bullied for this. That's something I went through. That's you sharing a personal experience. Kylie Jenner, I mean, he's going to know, Timothy Chablagoux is going to know what she looks like, because you can't get rid of these photos from the internet. But I don't know. There is something a little icky about being like, you weren't as hot before. I need to know now.
Yeah, it does reek of like, if you weren't hot before, I don't want to have kids with you, because then our kids aren't going to be hot.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's the vibe,
and I'm getting the ick.
Yes.
If I'm being honest with you.
As you should.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm glad we're just on the same page about that.
Yeah.
The Bert Show.